Hello and welcome to round 1 of the Grandmasters League, game 1 between Chris and Dogao. This is going to be shaping up to be a great matchup, I am sure, and I personally am extremely excited to be bringing you these games. Hopefully we've got a lot in store for us today. We do have 2 games between these guys, and who have we got? Well, in green today we do have I am Chris. He is playing as Aztecs, and civilizations are free to pick in this tournament. There are no restrictions or limitations on what civilizations the players can choose. I am Chris deciding to go with Aztecs today, and he is off to the left hand side of this map. In red we do have RVK Dogao playing as Aztecs as well. He's chosen to go with Aztecs, perhaps feeling quite confident with Aztecs on this map. He is in red off to the right of the map, and the map of course is Arabia, and this map was chosen by Chris today, and Chris has said in his interview that Arabia will be his go-to map, but he does understand that you can only choose a map once from the map pool, and players can only choose one map from the map pool during the tournament, so he cannot choose Arabia again. And that's interesting because he did say that Dogao wasn't going to be one of his toughest opponents. So it's kind of interesting that he's chosen to go with Arabia today, and maybe that'll work out well for him. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Dogao will of course be choosing the map in the next game, and there isn't a best of 3 or anything like that. It is simply straight up 2 games, and the person who wins them, or depending on how it turns out, so for instance if Dogao wins 2 games, or if Chris wins 2 games, then the winner will get 3 points. If they both win a game each, then they both get 1 point, and the person who loses both games will get 0 points depending on how it works out. So there really is only 2 ways it can go. It could be a win or a draw, or then ultimately a loss for the other person. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Chris even starting to scout now. He's found all of his sheep. That is nice. He had 4 starting sheep very close together, so he did get off to a very quick start indeed. And of course, these guys playing as Aztecs, so we will probably see some drushing, as Arabia is a very easy map to drush on due to the openness of it, and the fact that the Aztecs don't have to research loom at the start does mean that they have that extra 50 gold to get out an extra militia, and they could even go and gather 10 gold from a gold mine over here and decide to use that to make an extra militia still. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Chris just luring his first boar now, but Chris's map not looking so good for him on this main gold. That's very unfortunate positioning on that. The gold is halfway into the forest here, and that is very unlucky for him. Where is his other gold? Well, he does have a gold back here, which is going to be okay, I guess. It's right at the back. I guess that's easy to wall-ish, but it is in a little bit of a dip, so everything around it's on higher ground. And his other gold is right the way over here, it looks like. I can't see any more gold on his side of the map, so kind of a bad map for Chris, but I've got to say he could have restarted this map if he wanted to. It is possible for the players to restart a map once. They do have 1 restart per map, and Chris has decided to go with this, even though he's scouted this over here and found that his gold is in a bad position. Dogao on the other hand, well, let's have a look at his map. His gold is at the front, a little bit far from his TC, but it is not obstructed by any trees apart from perhaps this one, but it's no big deal. It's free and it's easy to access. His other golds are all at the front as well. He's got this one here and this one over to the right, so Dogao's gold's in a pretty bad spot also. Though I've got to say, Chris with this back gold might not be in such a bad position after all. He'll just have to keep that one safe and see how it goes. So what can we expect to see from this game? Well, as I said, drushes already, and we'll probably see that coming on. As we can see, 4 villagers to wood there does indicate that we will see a drush, and of course with Aztecs it's kind of a given that they will attempt something along those lines, as it can really give you a nice little advantage going into the feudal age if you do a good drush. What after that then? Well, perhaps we'll see some crossbowmen coming into play as well, but the likelihood is that we'll see some form of fast Imperial or fast Imperial time, and then follow that up with the elite Eagle Warriors which will be fully upgraded, I imagine, by the time they are coming out. And if that is something to go by, that is something we'll see, and perhaps we'll see that. There's no guarantees of that, of course. And Dogao doing a quick wall in on his villager there to keep her safe while she's building that barracks, and that barracks coming up before 7 minutes indicates to us that we will see a Drush here. Chris perhaps going to be doing the same. We'll go take a look at what he's doing now, and yep, there's a barracks from him. Going to be going up slightly after Dogao there, so I don't know if he's doing that in retaliation or if he was planning to do that all along, but sending more villagers to wood now. He's going to need to get some farms out before he goes up to the feudal age, hence the requirements of extra wood earlier on. And Dogao doing the same now as well, sending more villagers to wood. And I don't think any of these guys actually getting any extra gold at this stage. I think perhaps Dogao went, no he didn't, no extra gold at all, so just 2 militia coming out right now, and Dogao going to go with a 5 militia Drush here, as well as his Eagle Warrior. I imagine always useful to keep your Eagle Warrior with your militia when they go for their attack. And Chris, I think he's going to be making his Drush as well right now as well. So we're going to see some action pretty quickly, pretty early on, and I think both of these guys are very well aware that they will both be drushing. Sorry about not updating the scores there, they were just frozen, and I was like, what? No way, they're on 300 at this stage of the game. Chris now starting to wall off as well. I've got to say, I do like Chris's walling style. He does have quite a nice wall off style, I'd say. I think it's kind of very clever how he uses his walls sometimes. He's not so much in the sense of a Tim waller. He doesn't go all out and do like stupid walls, but he does wall enough, and he walls in the right places usually, as you can see here, building this wall to make anything come really close to his town centre to get to the back of his base. And we've seen that a lot, especially if you saw that Gold Rush game with the Wolf Train, where Chris played against someone else, I can't remember, when they were luring the wolves around. He did a very good walling style in that game as well, and maybe we'll see something from him with that regard here as well. So Dogao now pushing out with his militia. There we go with the 5 militia from him. See what damage he can do. His Eagle Warrior is already inside of Chris's base. Chris only with 4 militia right now. Is he making another? Yes, he is. But where is his Eagle Warrior? Well, it looks to me like it's miles away. May get a pick on this villager here. That could be very good for him. But only 5 militia back at his base, and Dogao with 5 coming in, and the Eagle Warrior. That could really change things around a lot. This villager now gonna have to run back to the TC, and Chris unable to take it out, but really slowing this palisade wall down here. Dogao coming in, Chris not walling this properly, he forgot to check, and Dogao straight into Chris's base, found a way around that little lake there, and Chris is going to regret not putting a palisade there now, because in come his militia, but he's engaging a 5 and Eagle Warrior versus 5, and that is obviously only going to go one way, and that is the way of Dogao right here. And it could be very real that Chris loses all of his militia here. He's going to have to be very careful, running one back to the town centre. Now it's 3v5, that is not good for him, and not a good battle at all, trying to bait them away with this one and get them closer to the CC, but that was not a good engagement for Chris. Looks like he may even lose these two if he decides to battle with them again, bringing in his villagers as well, and Dogao just going to go and head off into the hills because he's done what he came for. The Eagle Warrior from Chris a little bit too late now, and even if he engages with the Eagle Warrior, these militia haven't taken enough damage to really make it that effective, and Chris could even lose his Eagle Warrior if he decides to engage with these. Dogao, of course, now with the free roam, he can go and hit and run these berries as much as he likes, prevent Chris from gathering, and that was a very nice little attack from Dogao very early on, and really going to set him up in the long run for this game. His score already getting to be a little bit further in the lead, and very nicely done from him indeed right there, hanging onto the hills as well to go for that attack advantage. Very horrible thing to do, but very well done indeed as well, killing off those deer with the militia. That is 3 deer now that Chris will not be able to collect, and I think Chris was probably hoping to be able to collect those deer as they were very close to that mill, and that was a really nice little deer patch for him, but Dogao denying that from Chris, and Chris now going to be struggling to get up to the castle age in a reasonable time without those deer patches. And it looks to me like Dogao isn't actually gathering deer himself right now, though he may have already done it because I can't see any deer nearby to his base. So very nice attack from Dogao there, very well thought out, killing the deer as well, and of course hanging on to the hill advantage over here and keep hitting and running this army. Looks like Chris could find himself out of an army very shortly if Dogao decides to engage. It's going to be very close over on this side, and Chris up to the feudal age right now. Dogao going to hit feudal first as well, and I'm going to be interested to see if he upgrades to man-at-arms, because he still has his 5 militia here, and if he upgrades man-at-arms then that could work out in his favour, and he is doing that. And that is worthwhile. If he does have the extra militia, he may as well do it. And Chris knows he's feudal now, so he's going to try and attack up the hill and try and take out these militia before they get upgraded and kill them off as fast as he can. But Chris losing more militia right here, and well, he lost his eagle even. And Chris chasing him away across the map, quickly hoping to get this man-at-arms upgrade done. I think he just cancelled it there actually. He knew that it probably wouldn't be worth it with these militia now on very low HP. And Chris doing a really good attack there. He prevented the man-at-arms from coming out, and that ultimately could have saved him in the long run there. Although he has had to bring his villagers off of gathering, that was a very well thought out attack from Chris. He knew that a man-at-arms would probably be coming in, and he decided to act on that very quickly before it could have been all over for him. So very nicely done from Chris there. He did lose out in the long run, losing his militia, but he managed to prevent collateral damage right there as well. Dogao coming up with an archery range and a blacksmith even. What is Chris going to do over on this side? A blacksmith and an archery range too. Looks like we're going to see fast castles from both of these guys once these blacksmiths come out. And Chris surprisingly getting up to the castle age first, which is kind of interesting as he did have the extra harassment coming in, and he didn't take deer of course, but population wise 33 to 35. Dogao with the extra population from the 2 militia right there, and he's even going to hit and run on this gold, make the most of these militia as he can. 1 HP left on this one over here, and they're still doing their job. Really well done by Dogao right there, continuing to keep the harassment going and really slowing Chris down. But as I say, Chris is not going to be so happy about this gold here. He really is going to have a lot of hard troubles getting these villagers gathering from here, and he will need a few more gold collectors if he's going to be going heavy into Eagle Warriors. Of course, they do cost a lot of gold, and he will need a lot more gold collectors if he wants to be able to spam them out. Of course, once we get up to the castle age, we'll probably see crossbows first, because we did see the archery ranges already, and Chris is starting to make a couple of archers right now. He's going to go send them off to kill off these militia, and or is he? It looked like he was going to go send them over there to finish these guys off, and I'm sure they will be finished off pretty quickly anyway, as they are on really low HP. Second archery range going down right now, and Dogao going to lose his 2 militia right here, picked off by Chris, and things have evened out a little bit. Chris now in the score lead. It's very, very close. But I think right now he probably has more military, or saying that actually, Dogao putting his archers inside of his archery range. These guys getting up their archers already, and once they get castle, upgrading them straight to crossbowmen is likely, and we'll probably see some crossbow wars for the time being until these guys get ready to get up to the Imperial age, which will probably be the most likely strategy. There is Chris with his crossbowmen, and he's already got fletching, no bodkin arrow just yet. He's waiting for the gold, no doubt, and he's going to obviously have to keep these villagers creating as well. Another 10 gold, 20 gold for him, and a little bit of food even, and there we go. Should be getting bodkin arrow very shortly, because Dogao already getting bodkin arrow right now. Crossbowman upgrade being done as well. There we go with the crossbowman right there, and Chris still not getting bodkin arrow just yet. So if he does engage, he's going to have a little bit of a disadvantage. And Dogao pushing out across the map. He's being very aggressive so far. Chris not really being on Dogao's side of the map at all, and Dogao is happy with that. I'm sure he's going to be keeping the map control, of course, and that is always important in a 1v1. And of course as well, he needs to make sure that Chris doesn't get hold of this gold, because that is Chris's 3rd gold, and he's only got these 2 back here, which of course are in very awkward positions indeed, and that is probably what Dogao is going to try and do. prevent Chris from taking this gold over here, and Chris might be looking to try and take that gold. It depends what he sees fit to do in this situation, but right now just going to be creating more and more crossbows. Still waiting for a bodkin arrow from him, and he's not getting that just yet, so that is something to be a bit wary of if he's going to be going to attack Dogao right here. Having a look at their military, well, 12 archers for Chris right now and 13 for Dogao, so very neck and neck indeed, but Dogao with the highest score in this situation. And coming in on this side over here, pretty nicely done for him. If he gets on this side, he could pick a couple of villagers off. He's obviously going to be trying to get through to this wood pile over here, and if he does take out these palisades, then that could work out well for him. Chris knows that he's here. He's going to try and wall this off with houses as quickly as he can as well, and Dogao going to try and take down this palisade as quickly as he can. Chris coming in here though with his crossbowman. He's going to try and flank him from behind and trap Dogao in there. It looks like he's got more crossbowmen out on the field over at this side, but Dogao coming out with more right now, and Dogao has split his army up, so he's got to be very careful. Chris now chasing him down, Dogao running away and being chased across the map, losing a couple of crossbowmen, or a crossbowman right there, and getting a lot of damage done to one or two of them. Chris though is looking to me like he was going to chase him there, but he's not. He's going to go push straight back out with a counter, but Dogao very nicely done over that side. He has just baited him away a little bit. He's forced Chris to go for a bit of a retaliation, but not realizing that Dogao hasn't only just got that little bit of army down here, he's also got this army down here which has just walked through his open palisade gate because Chris didn't wall again, and Dogao is now in. He's going to be picking off a few villagers here. A very nice pick from him. 1-2 villagers down. He's going to get onto this gold, and that could be a very big loss for Chris. That's another villager lost right there, and that is not good for him at all. Also coming in on this left hand side, might be looking to take down this palisade as well, and of course Chris now forced back to his base, couldn't go and do that attack on Dogao after all, because Dogao is coming in with these crossbowmen now with the +2 attack, +2 range, and picking off villagers where he can. Very nice attack from him, preventing Chris from gathering gold over on this side and stationed them in a really good position. Of course he's also broke in down here as well, trying to pick off this villager that's gathering, making houses even, and it looks to me like Chris is fully walled down here, but Dogao with a really good attack from him. But Chris now attacking uphill on this little hill over this side. He knows that he can win this battle even though he's fighting uphill, because he does have the significant number advantage, baiting them away with this crossbowman there. Really nice micro from Chris, well played by him, and cleaning that up from Dogao right there. But we've got to bear in mind now that Chris did lose a few villagers there, and although he killed off a large majority of Dogao's army, and Chris does have more crossbowmen, he has lost quite a few villagers, and that has really slowed him down with getting up to the Imperial age, and that is something that you've got to be very wary of, because once these guys reach Imperial and the elite Eagle Warriors start coming on through, or spamming on through I was going to say, then it's going to be really hard to deal with unless you've got some solid walls up, because they make the best raiding units, really they do, and they are so strong against arrow fire, which does make them so good for raiding. So we've got to be very careful now. Chris has got to be careful indeed. Dogao back at his base pretty much undisturbed. Chris I thought was going to go out straight away with a counter there, but he is a little bit slow to move out of his base, and now Dogao on the center area. Chris about to push out as well. If they run into each other here, it could be a very close battle indeed. It's probably going to come down to who's got the high ground. There's Chris right there, losing one archer already, crossbowman already, and he's going to have to be doing some good micro here. Of course he's going to try and hang to the high ground. Dogao going to try and get up right here, and if you can fight him on even ground, then it's going to be very close indeed, as these guys pretty much have exactly the same numbers. I'd go as far to say as Chris slightly further ahead in this situation on this little battle, but Dogao quickly going to reinforce, and that could really turn things around. Can we see a siege workshop from either of these guys? Well, Dogao doesn't have one right now. Chris doesn't have a siege workshop yet either. He is just throwing one down there actually though, just as I said that, speak of the devil, and that could really turn things around in the center if Chris gets a Manganel out and starts to hit down on these crossbowmen. That could really help him out, as he is outnumbered right now, and of course if he can make good use of the Manganel, then he will be looking to get up to the Imperial Age a little bit faster, as he won't need to make quite as many crossbowmen to counter Dogao in this situation. But as I said, Dogao doing pretty good. He's killed off a few villagers from Chris, which is going to put Chris behind, and Chris so far hasn't been able to break into Dogao's base and do some real damage, though if he did come around the back here, he could get quite a nice few picks on this side. But right now he's going to have to, of course, deal with this in the center of the map. Dogao losing a couple of crossbowmen there, and Chris of course going to try and micro this very nicely, but he's a little bit out of time, and Dogao getting some really good hits on his crossbowmen, killing off quite a few there as well. And it looks like at the moment it's neck and neck, 4 apiece lost, and out comes the Manganel for Chris. This could really turn things around for him. One Manganel shot to these crossbowmen can really change the course of the battle, of course probably flattening 4 or 5 in the process, as well as giving his crossbowmen a huge advantage in numbers. So if you can actually get this Manganel out there before Dogao can see it, then that's going to be really good for him. Dogao going to keep an eye on his point of view here, because you've got to bear in mind Dogao doesn't know that this Manganel is on the field right here. He just thinks he's engaging these crossbowmen, and if the Manganel comes in right now, there's the Manganel. He may have just seen that. Of course he has now seen it. He's going to have to be very careful, and Chris, really it's best to kind of ambush with the Manganel without your opponent seeing it, because that way you can get the shot off before they know to try and dodge. But of course Dogao did see that there, and Chris is now going to have to chase him down. The second Manganel coming out, or it's already out even, and that is going to be nice for Chris. He is going to be able to flatten these crossbowmen if he does get a good Manganel shot on, but instead of that he's going to go straight out and try and get some revenge. Dogao did kill a few of his villagers, so Chris is going to go and attack him by the looks of it. There's Dogao's deer patch, by the way. Totally missed that a bit earlier on, didn't I? And here we go. He's going to Manganel down this palisade wall. Dogao going for an attack on Chris's base right now, but it looks like he's going to have to turn around and retreat, because he can see 2 Manganels now in. Well, he will see 2 Manganels very shortly, I imagine, as there is one back here as well, attacking his palisade. And there we go. Dogao turning straight back around to try and defend his base. In comes the crossbowman, in comes the Manganel, and this Manganel could even try and take down this town centre. But look at that, Dogao Imperial Age research on the way right now as well, and Chris still castle and well in the castle age as well. Look at the resources for him. He's going to need a lot more food and a lot more gold, but he's right into Dogao's economy here, and Dogao is going to have to defend against this, because Chris is coming in with his crossbowman, with his Manganel, and he could do a hell of a lot of damage here. He just needs to get this Manganel to be firing, and if he brought both Manganels in and started to go for this town centre, then he could really put Dogao under some pressure, and maybe even perhaps get the town centre down before the Imperial Age research. But Chris did leave one of his Manganels back at home, and he's already got another one on the field as well, but he's not got them in the attack. And if he was to bring both of those other Manganels over, he could have even actually had this town centre down before it researched the Imperial Age, and that could have been really huge for him. Chris though is in Dogao's base, but he's not doing much damage at all. He's hardly killed any villagers here, and if Dogao gets him caught into a little corner, then he could kill off a lot of Chris's crossbowman. Chris though has now of course got his bodkin arrow. He has got +1 armor as well, and I'm not really sure if that's so worth it, because you've got to bear in mind that they are probably going to be going for early Eagle Warriors, and that +1 armor really isn't going to be so useful in the late game when it's mainly Eagle Warrior spam. In comes the hit from the Manganel, and Dogao very well dodged, and Chris trying to micro out the way, but his own crossbowman blocking him there, losing his Manganel, and Dogao lost his too. But it looks like Chris is going to get cleaned up here, and that was not a great attack from him at all. He lost his Manganel and he lost his army, and Dogao now up to the Imperial Age. Chris still castle and going to hit Imperial very shortly. Barracks coming out for him right now, getting ready to go for the Eagle Warriors. Dogao with his barracks coming up as well, but Chris going to go up to the Imperial Age just now, and that is a little bit too late unfortunately for him, because look at that, Dogao's economy, so much food and so much gold. He is going to be able to afford so many Eagle Warriors once he gets up to the Imperial Age, and of course the Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade will probably be coming out straight away. If we have a look at his blacksmith right now, we will probably see some upgrades for the melee units very shortly. Defensive upgrades and offensive upgrades. Going to be very important to get those extra defenses up. And there we go, Dogao up to the Imperial Age right now. Having a look at his barracks, there's the Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade right now as well, and the Eagle Warrior is coming out of the barracks as I speak. So Dogao in a real nice position. He's going to push out with these crossbowmen, see see what he can actually do, but he's going to run head on into these Manganels, it seems. See if he can actually get a nice pick here. Chris could kill a lot of these crossbowmen if he spots them, but Dogao just going to snake and sneak his way by. Very nicely played by him. Chris now looking to be in a little bit of a sticky situation, getting up to the Imperial Age and creating some Eagle Warriors, but his economy really in no shape to support this. He hasn't really got enough gold collectors, it seems, and his gold, as I say, in a bad position. And Dogao now with these crossbowmen looking to pick off more villagers if he can, but the Eagle Warriors out for Chris, going to be able to pick them off very quickly indeed. And now we can see the spam coming in from Dogao. The elite Eagle Warriors streaming across the map. 9 attack, 6 pierce armor. In they come, and Dogao even going to lose his crossbowmen, it seems, but in come the elite Eagle Warriors, and this is going to change things around massively. That's Manganel there likely to go down, and of course standard Eagle Warriors really not going to be able to do that much against crossbowmen on their own. Of course now elite Eagle Warriors coming in from Dogao as well, and look at the spam coming across the map. They are absolutely getting spammed over there, and he is going to be continuing on with that, it seems, for quite some time now. He's got a lot of resources left in the bank. Plate mail armor on the way as well, which is going to give these guys even more pierce armor, and that is going to be so useful to their raiding. After that we'll probably see forging and the like, just to get his attack up as well. Breaking through this house right now. Chris desperately trying to house behind it and wall behind it. He may just be able to do that, but this house going down so quickly with the crossbowmen attacking it, and of course the Eagle Warriors attacking it as well. So much spam coming across the map from Dogao. It's almost like a post-Imperial deathmatch rush, and coming in with these Eagle Warriors, of course they're so fast as well. They make the perfect raiders because of that high pierce armor and such high speed. I imagine he's already got squires as well to increase their speed, movement speed. And Chris sitting here with his Eagle Warriors right now, and he's going to struggle to defend against this. I think Dogao coming in with the elite, of course, and that is really going to change things around for him. And Chris, he has got quite a few Eagle Warriors out right now, but I don't think he's going to have enough to really deal with this amount of elite Eagles. Can he afford to get the elite Eagle Warrior upgrade? Well, I'm not really sure if he's getting it. Yes, he is already, and that's going to help him out a little bit. He is going to have the elite Eagle Warrior, of course, but it will mean that he won't have as many upgrades. When we see these guys upgrade to elite Eagles, we'll see that they are not going to have as many upgrades as Dogao is here. But of course Dogao is going to be attacking on multiple fronts. He has now got 8 pierce armor on these guys, so he can of course afford to run past town centers, take the arrow fire from them, because they really will not be doing that much damage at all. And of course he's broke through now. Chris didn't wall properly there, and he's into his economy line. He's going to be taking out a lot of villagers on this wood. He's going to be aiming for the gold as well if he can, because the villagers gathering gold are going to be the villagers sustaining the elite Eagle Warrior production. Getting a little bit caught there, but he has got the upgrade advantage. He's got extra pierce armor and melee armor, an extra 2 melee armor, and I imagine right now Dogao will be going for the upgrades for the attack. Not just yet, but he is just spamming these guys in here everywhere. If we have a look at the mini-map, he's just all over Chris's base, probably killing a hell of a lot of Chris's men and a hell of a lot of Chris's villagers, and that's what he's trying to do, prevent Chris's economy from getting strong and prevent Chris from ultimately making the most Eagle Warriors. And now he's obviously really doing a lot of damage. Chris not in his town centers, not gathering resources at all, and that is really going to slow him down. Dogao with a huge attack here, continuing to spam them in as well, attacking from multiple angles. If he comes in from the top as well, this could be absolutely horrible for Chris. But of course Dogao getting right into his base, Chris not able to re-wall up, and that does mean he's going to lose a lot of villagers, and Chris all over the place having to try and deal with Dogao's elite Eagle Warriors coming in here. Dogao of course just going to run straight through, not even worry about taking any damage from these town centers. He's right up to the back, and he might just be able to find these wood collectors over on this side. Score wise, Dogao getting really far in the lead, and he's killing off so many villagers left, right and centre. He's still getting straight into his base, of course, but yet we've not seen any siege from Dogao just yet. I thought maybe we'd see a forward siege workshop to bring in some rams just to finish things off a little bit, but it looks to me like Dogao now with +1 attack on his Eagle Warriors as well, iron casting being researched as well, which is going to give him +2, and that means he's going to be up to 11 attack on these Eagle Warriors, and that is a lot more upgrades than Chris does have, which is really going to change things around for him as well. A great attack from him indeed, and he is coming in from multiple angles at the same time. Dogao with such a great economy at this stage as well. Look at how many gold collectors he has, evenly split over all of his gold piles. A little bit of stone coming in there as well. He may decide to make more town centres, and of course he's prevented this gold here, which is really going to slow Chris down and mean he can't make as many Eagle Warriors in this situation. A castle coming forwards here as well. Dogao may decide to get out a couple of trebuchets. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but of course coming in from even more different angles, trying to batter away at Chris's walls, and Dogao with such a great Eagle Warrior rush here. Really well played from him. He knows he can get straight in on this side, and Chris now with so few gold villagers that I'm really surprised that he's not stopped creating Eagle Warriors. I thought by now his economy would have run out, and it is very close to. Look at that, he's got hardly any resources left whatsoever. Really struggling now to get his gold in, and I'm not surprised. He's only got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gold collecting villagers, which is just going to be horrible for him. Population wise 75, Dogao on 164. It looks to me like there's only one way that this game can go. And Dogao again with another excellent raid now into the back, looking to kill off these wood collectors, looking to kill off these villagers, and these Eagle Warriors do so much damage to the villagers. They just 1-2 hit them. If you have a look there, 1, 2, it's just so easy to take them down, and Dogao really in a great situation in this game, taking it seems quite easily, I've got to say. Chris not gathering from these two town centres here, and the pressure is just too damn high. The pressure is too damn high, and Dogao, it seems, is going to take this game. Just kind of waiting for the GG from Chris here, because I can't see what he's going to be able to do. Dogao continuing the spam consistently, conscription now being researched as well, which does mean that these are going to be coming out even faster. There's the GG from Chris, and that concludes game 1 of the GML. Wow, what a game. Very well played by Dogao, perhaps unexpected. Chris was going into this tournament as perhaps one of the favourites, and even though in his interview he said he hadn't been practicing, perhaps he's going to regret that decision now, as Dogao takes that game quite decisively, I've got to say. Very well played by him. A very fast Eagle Warrior rush, and just did so much damage. And I think, you know, at the start of the game, killing those villagers really put Chris back a little bit. And not only that, but Chris of course didn't have the best of maps, really slowed him down a little bit with his Eagle Warrior production. But the harassment from Dogao with these elite Eagles coming in, absolutely brilliant for him. Well played by him. That's game 1 to Dogao. Game 2 coming your way very shortly. Stay tuned on ZeroEmpires.